All right, thanks very much, Mike. There's nothing to clean up, so I don't really need to talk about that anymore, unless anybody asks questions and they want to know more details about that. So I'm Peter Hollemans. I work with the CoastWatch Central Operations Group, and I'll talk for a few minutes. What do I have, 10 minutes? 15? 15? But there's some questions, right? Okay, we'll see. I'll try for 10. I work for, I'm going to be talking about the CoastWatch Utilities update for this year, and this is something I often talk about at these meetings, and sometimes I get time to do a demo, but we won't do a demo this time. Let's see, latest updates. So the CoastWatch Utilities, it's a package of software that's meant for working with CDF and HDF data files produced by CoastWatch. I'll just talk about its functionality quickly, where you download it, who uses it, some of the latest improvements. And it's important because it's useful in analyzing and processing geographic data prior to distribution on a data server or for CoastWatch data users after they download data from our sites. Spacebar or arrows? Can I do both? Oh, I can do arrows too. The utilities read various formats of data, like I said, HDF, NetCDF, other formats as well, but those are the main ones that we are using now. Both level 2 and level 3 formats, they work on the data variables in those files in such a way as it doesn't matter what the data type is or the scaling factors or the units. There are command line tools for reporting the file information. Oops. Okay. So this here. Did I do something? Thanks. Thanks. There are command line tools, as I was saying, to report file information and combine time series into composites, which is what Mike was just talking about. You can use it to create data files using a math expression, like an ad hoc math expression that you just want to test something out and see how some set of variables or channels from the satellite combine. You can map data from level 2 to level 3 projection and between different map projections, and you can generate preview images as well. So lots of little functionality I haven't talked about, but you can check that out in the user's guide or online. There's also the CoastWatch data analysis tool on the right-hand side there for interactively looking at data files. And so you might ask who uses the software. We have a number of user groups. So by lines of code, actually, I checked this a little while ago. The functionality is weighted a lot towards data processing and mapping to projections, or registration, as we call it. And the software features have really grown out of requests from CoastWatch data users, from central operations needs, and from node operations needs. I started out as an operations manager at the West Coast and moved through various positions, and so my sort of knowledge of what I knew people would need and what I wrote at the time have been kind of amalgamated into this software and put together in a easy to use package. So a number of groups use the software now, with CoastWatch Central being using the most functionality. East and West Coast and Great Lakes nodes. We have I think it was Oli was mentioning the Expo Regional Monitor uses it for their display, creating renderings of their level 2 and 3 products. We have NOAA users outside of CoastWatch and commercial users who take CoastWatch data products and spin them into their own websites and their own services and apps use our software, CoastWatch Utility software. And there are CoastWatch data analysis tools, CDAT users all over the globe for using CoastWatch data for their own purposes. So we don't always have feedback from everybody, so we don't know what they're all doing. But so given that a lot of data users rely on the software, we periodically release new versions to fix bugs and add functionality. And so we do 6 months to 12-month release cycle. We create beta releases between official releases that contain bug fixes and new features. Since the annual meeting last year, there have been two major releases, 3.8.0 and 4.0.0 that just came out in the beginning of May this month. And we've created various beta releases between those. There are installable packages for Linux, Windows, and Mac. They automatically install everything. There's nothing else that you need, including the command line tools if you need those. I should say there is a prerequisite for Windows, which you'll see on the website, but you'll never need to install that once. And it is on the approved list of software for NOAA to have on laptops, so you don't need to worry about it being authorized. It is authorized. We looked at the download counts for 2023. Mike just gave me those the other day. We had just under 900 downloads, and that was only for 11 of the 12 months of the year. We missed one of the months. 65% of them were Windows, 12% were Mac, and 23% Linux. So majority of Windows users. And I do testing when I release the software on all of those operating systems before I release it. The packages, they're available from the coastwatch.noaa.gov central operations website. The source code is available on GitHub. And you may be interested in what's in the latest release and why you might want to download it. So as I said, we just posted it in May, earlier in May, and so I'll give you some of the highlights. We've done a lot of work in rearranging the CoastWatch data analysis tool to make it more user-friendly. It's a lot more like Google Map Viewer now in terms of the point-and-click interface for zooming and panning and getting around the image. We've added, CDAT has the same overall functionality, although it's easier to use, and so it will be familiar to users who've already used previous versions, and it has some key updates based on user requests over the last several years. Let's see here. We've added new functionality to the compositing command line. That was what Mike was alluding to. And for not only for selecting the best pixels in, say, a daily composite of various level 2 granules, but also for speed and in its ability to multi-thread and take advantage of what number of CPUs you've given it and the amount of memory that you've given it. It will scale to handle that and run faster, actually. What else have we done? We added something to the sampling program to help with computing window statistics for doing satellite product calibration. And I want to expand that even more to do better handling of level 2 products. This is currently a level 3 operation. There are new GeoTIFF data output options that help to keep the cloud optimized GeoTIFF files smaller, so you can represent them with smaller data types. We've made the command line programs easier to use for Windows users by having some automatic path settings. And that was something that came out of doing some of the courses that we did in 2023 for the CoastWatch Utilities and users kind of having some issues. And so we automated a few things and streamlined it. And as I said, math and composite command tools have been optimized to scale to the processors available and to the memory available. So those are some of the improvements, and there are others as well you can check out on the website. So last year we created an online training course, and we were able to, it's part of a larger effort to deliver advanced training. Has 5 units on different topics. It presents original content and also links to existing content on YouTube. There are step-by-step examples of using the CoastWatch data analysis tool and with screenshots, and we have exercises on using the command line tools for common tasks and the expected output that you would get from the command line tool. And to help learn the tools, there are bonus exercises as well, and quizzes and assignments, and also demonstration videos, as I mentioned. The course is linked from the CoastWatch Learning portal, And it's also linked from, which is from the, I should say, from the coastwatch.noaa.gov website, the learning portal. And there's also a help button in CDAT that links you directly to the course, so you can go through that. I haven't updated the screenshots for the course for the new version of CDAT, but I'm going to do that soon. And just a little bit more about the online course. We did present it in 2023. We received some favorable feedback about it. We used some of that feedback to update the course. And so it was presented at OSOS last year originally in Korea. And we did a follow-up to OSOS, which we called OSOW, and Melanie was coordinator of that, an online course. And then it was also given online for a course in Japan, the Asia Ocean Color Workshop. So that was good. We got a lot of great feedback and favorable. So and there's also a course introduction video, which I created for an Alaska workshop and then folded into the course pages, so you can see all about what you would learn if you're in when you're in the course. Let's see what else do I have. I think that's pretty much, yeah, those are all my slides. So that's all I have. If there's any questions? Yeah, right on time. Sung.
Yeah, I have a question about CW composite function. So you mentioned that function select the best pixels, right?
Yes.
That is only available for daily composite. Right?
Yeah, it's our definition of what the best pixel is for a daily composite. It's nothing, not like an optimal.
Yeah. That function is optional or default?
Well, in the software, you can have it do the most recent pixel, the least recent pixel, the maximum, the minimum, the end, and the software lets you do the optimal one based on any parameter that you choose. We're using solar zenith angle as the determining factor, but you could use other ones. But the products that will be created with optimal mode will just have the optimal pixel that we've decided to have in that composite at some point. It hasn't implemented yet, but go ahead, Mark.
Could you have it work with quality data, quality variable?
Oh, okay. So sorry, I should have probably said the question. Let me go back. I don't know if the online people have heard the question from Sungyeon. He's asking if it's possible to adjust the optimal pixel, like what you'd classify as the optimal pixel. I think that was your question. Did I answer that?
Actually, yeah. That function choosing best pixel is based on solar zenith angle.
Yeah. Yes.
Basically, solar zenith angle could be.
Sorry, satellite zenith angle.
Yeah, but there will be other options, other impacts. So there may not be the best pixel. So
right.
Do you want to select that options? Yeah.
Yeah, so the question is that the satellite zenith angle determined pixel might not be the best pixel, but we are saying for now our purpose is that it is the pixel with the highest resolution and the shortest atmospheric path length, and we're saying that our products will contain that in the future, and that's what the software is capable of doing, although you can use other determining factors for it too.
Another thing is that composite is at reprojection from regular to.
Yeah, so the question is that pixel is coming from a reprojection. Yes, so we've already projected the data from level 2 to level 3, and then we're compositing it. It's almost a spatial composite and a temporal composite at the same time because it's a different time, but it's also adjacent in space. So it's.
Yes. So and the reprojected image has that information inside. So,
yes, so each reprojected granule will have the full original pixels, but then you have to choose, because they're overlapping, which one you're going to take in the temporal composite for the day. That was the question. Okay. And Mike, you had a question, and you said, what about L2 flags?
Right. So when you map your data, if you have a quality data variable,
right?
Could you set it to say, say you have a quality index 1.5?
Yeah.
Well, no, we've already masked that. That's a philosophical description, but there's a difference between things that you want to mask, because you always want something that's better than X, and the criterion you want to use to merge.
Okay, so there's a question about whether when you're doing your composite, have you already masked the data, or would you composite data that is unmasked but has a quality flag co-located with it in a different variable? And so the answer is you could do it either way. You could mask the pixels initially, and then the composite, it will only take into account pixels that are valid, because if you've masked them out, they've been set to invalid in the input granules, the level 3 input granules. Or if you have level 3 input granules with unmasked data and you want to carry across the level 2 flagging, the pixel that is considered to be the optimal one will also pull over the level 2 flags with it to say, here are the flags that went with this pixel. So for example, if you wanted to subsequently mask out shallow water pixels or select shallow water pixels, if that's one of your LTP flag values, then you could do that and be confident that the pixel that is in the daily composite is actually going to be the pixel from the optimal that you have the shallow water pixel, test for. So if that makes a sense. So wrapping it up. Okay. How many? We got 1 minute.
Is the solar zenith angle?
Satellite zenith.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Were you going to say solar zenith?
No, thanks.
Okay.
The satellite zenith angle compositing or choosing the best pixel, is that going to be implemented for all products that get a daily composite?
Okay, so the question is the satellite zenith angle determination going to be used for all products that have that as part of their variables? I guess that's your question. And I think the answer is partly from Phil.
The answer is we can do it for ice, we can do it for Olchi, we can do it for Axel SST. We can't do it for OC right now.
Why is that?
Because we don't have access to the solar zenith angle right now. Or the sun.
Yeah, so the answer is some products have that extra data in it and we can do it and others don't. And right now Ocean Color doesn't have it, but we can do it for what? SST, ice, and
SST, ice, and Olchi.
Olchi. So it's just a technical, carrying over of data from one file to another that we have to improve. Hung?
Yeah,
okay.
quick question.
Okay.
So the GeoTIFF export option for data type, float and the integer. So the integer should be in 16, right? 16 bit.
I need to look at the documentation again because I wrote that a while ago, and I thought it was that we could output an 8-bit or 16-bit or 32-bit integer, but I just need to look it up.
Okay, thank you.
So that was a question from Hung on the GeoTIFF output options. I think that's good. Are we on a break at this point?
Yep.
So 15-minute break.